so we're back, Overland Expo Day 2. We recorded a little bit of audio about this awesome Basilisk suit, but I think this thing just needs to be seen to be believed. So here we are, let's talk about it.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, so, okay, well, this is our Basilisk riding kit, and this kit came about because for myself and most of the guys I ride with, we're doing these kind of really enduro touring style trips where we're doing mostly off-road riding, so it's not a whole lot of pavement, but we're still touring. We're camping, we have all our camping gear, our food and stuff on the bikes, but we're doing like 7-day trips or 10-day trips that are primarily off-road, sort of backcountry discovery route style trips. And for that kind of a trip, we often will wear our dirt bike gear.
Right.
So instead of wearing a big ADV jacket with a bunch of pockets and a sewn-in liner and armor in the liner, we'll wear something like a armor pressure suit over a base layer.
Like this guy right here.
This, with a mesh jersey over the top, and then we have a waterproof shell that goes over that. So
you're sort of separating out all the layers of what would be a normal touring adventure suit.
Exactly, yeah. If you were to think about a traditional ADV jacket, it's got 3 components to it. It's got the outer shell, the waterproof shell. Inside of the shell, there's a sewn-in liner. It's either mesh or some sort of relatively light weight material. And then in that is armor. So you've got 3 components: the shell, the liner, the armor. We split those 3 things into different garments. So we have the shell, the armor, and then our mesh jersey is the mesh. So the purpose of the jersey is to keep the sun and dirt basically off your skin, so you don't get a horrendous sunburn, you don't end up filthy.
So you're riding without your jacket on, you've still got full body UV protection.
Exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah, I mean, really, the main advantages of using separate armor as opposed to integrated armor are, first, impact protection. You get better armor, you get better coverage with the armor. So you know, instead of having your armor sitting in a mesh liner that moves around and floats inside of the jacket, the armor is much closer to your body. So when you go flying over the handlebars, you have 100% confidence that the pad is going to be where you need it.
Exactly.
And then second is temperature control. So impact protection is the first benefit, temperature control is the second. Temperature control is as simple as when it gets hot or when you're in challenging terrain and you're riding athletically, you can take your jacket off without having to give up your protection. You know, I see people on these backcountry discovery route style trips, they're in tough terrain, it's like rocky and technical or sand washes, they've got a big adventure bike, it's hot out, they're trying to wrestle their bike through it, they're just pouring sweat, it's so uncomfortable, and they're in these big jackets, but they don't want to take them off because the armor is built into the jacket, and if they take it off, it's going to be the worst possible moment. I mean, you're in challenging terrain, your odds of crashing are higher, so they don't want to take their jackets off even though they're totally overheating. That's the beauty of this kind of gear, and dirt bikers know this. You know, enduro riders know this. That's why when you go to the motocross track or if you go to your local OHV area, you're not going to see anybody wearing a jacket with integrated armor. But it turns out this type of dirt bike gear, scaled up a bit, actually works really well for ADV as well. And that's the conclusion I've come to. Everyone at Mosko, I mean, it's been years since I used a jacket with integrated armor. So what we wanted was to create a jacket that has the absolute best materials, the best construction, the best trims. The kind of stuff you'd find on the top of the line ADV jackets, but without all the pockets and doodads and features and stuff that we don't really use. We want it streamlined. So we want the best in materials, construction, and trims, but on a very streamlined, minimalist jacket. Kind of like a really heavy-duty waterproof shell that can take a hit when you go flying off the bike. And that's what we produce. That's the Basilisk.
All right, so tell me about the materials then.
Sure. Okay. Well, our main base layer material is by a company called Event. It's an Event Expedition, and I won't get too much into the technical characteristics of Event. It's a very cool technical fabric. It uses a very similar technology to gore-tex to keep water out, but it also has the added benefit of being air permeability, so air permeable. So it's actually quite a bit more breathable than gore-tex. That's its claim to fame. You can get online and look up YouTube videos and stuff like that. You can see all the stats, but this jacket, their Expedition line, is not only extremely tough and abrasion resistant, but also extremely high on the waterproof test. 30,000 millimeter waterproof, which means that you can have a column of almost 100 feet of water on top of this fabric before the pressure is sufficient to actually force water through the pores of the jacket. So it takes an enormous amount of pressure to get water through this, and yet air can pass, water vapor can pass. So this is one of Event's nicest materials. We love it. We're very excited to find it. It's very expensive, but it's very cool. So that's what we use as our main body fabric. And then on the top, shoulders, the chest, the back, the shoulders, the arms, we use a material called super fabric. And this is not just super fabric, it's actually super fabric sewn on top of Event. So there's 2 layers of fabric all the way through the chest, the back, and the shoulders. Super fabric has ceramic platelets that have been applied with heat to a base fabric. So
Okay.
this is known for its abrasion resistance.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the most abrasion resistant material you can find. You see it on a lot of motorcycle gear, but usually in very small applications, like
Right.
a little bit on the elbows, maybe on the shoulders, maybe on the knees. Here we use it on the whole top of the garment, and we layer it over the event expedition.
So that way you don't lose your waterproof, even if
Exactly.
you tear a hole in your super fabric.
Yeah, or you have some abrasion up here, you know, you go for a slide, the event is still underneath it.
Cool.
Yep, so the jacket will stay waterproof. Now, we added a lot of mechanical venting. We have 2 big chest vents here.
Yep.
We have arm vents here, and then we have exhaust vents on the back.
Sure.
So there's really good airflow when you are wearing the jacket. Of course, the ultimate ventilation is to simply remove the jacket and ride in your armor.
yeah.
So if it gets hot enough, you just take it off.
Which is the whole point of
That's
this
the
thing,
whole
is that you
point.
can take it off.
Yep. So we have adjustability with a drawstring down here at the bottom. We also
Yep.
have a drawstring at the neck. And then for the waist, if you're adding layers, so you're going to bulk up, like if you add an insulating layer, you can release these patches on the side and reset them to add or subtract width in the middle of the jacket.
And since they're Velcro, they're basically infinitely adjustable within that range.
Yeah, so when you kind of add a layer, just rip them open, adjust, close them again.
Yeah.
And you're set.
Okay. You know, something I noticed, we've talked about these jackets a little bit. Scott was telling me about them, giving me the whole rundown as well. A feature that stands out to me is the dirt skirt.
Yeah, cool. Yep, on the inside, we added this thing called a dirt skirt. So this is really inspired by skiing and snowboarding. Skiers and snowboarders use this feature to keep powder snow out when they crash on a really deep snow day.
Yeah.
They don't want it going up the inside of their jacket. We put it on there. We call it the dirt skirt, but really its main benefit is that, you know, if you have any kind of a draft coming up, it's a really cold day, you want that extra little kind of snugness of your jacket close to your body.
Most of the time when I'm riding, like if I start to kind of like lean forward in the wind, I feel the tail of my jacket like coming up, and it's getting cold up my back.
So you can unsnap this and snap it in front of you and bring it around, but you don't actually have to do that for the dirt skirt to work. There's elastic here on the back, so even when it's just snapped into the side of the jacket here, it's still performing a function of resting on your lower back and stopping those drafts from traveling up the back. We've also got here on the front a nice big internal storm flap with 2 rain gutters on it.
Yep.
So we wanted to do that because we're trying to get away from external storm flaps. All of our vents also have internal storm flaps because external storm flaps make it very hard to operate. The zippers, there's a bunch they kind of get in the way. So we want everything to be super easy to open vents, to close pockets, to open the main zipper. So yeah, and then the material here, you can see we have no sewn-in liner. So the inside of this is just the inside of your 3-layer hard shell material.
Yeah, it's a nice
it's got
soft
a tri-cot
fabric.
liner, very soft. It's comfortable up against your skin. We've got internal pockets for your cell phone, stuff like that. Yeah, it's great. It's just a very tough, very clean lines, very minimalist riding jacket.
Yeah, and then the pants are pretty much the same deal. You've got plenty of super fabric, event everywhere.
Yep, got lots of vents.
Yeah.
Big vents on the thigh. There's a knee scoop vent right here.
Right,
and then
because
an
these are
exhaust vent
obviously
on
the
the
thing you're not going to take off on the road. Yeah,
exactly.
So,
but I think what's really surprised me when I started riding an event a couple years ago is that it's really remarkable how it's very noticeable how much cooler it is when you're wearing it. Like, it literally vents so much better than any other waterproof breathable membrane I've ever used. And you can do research on it online. You can actually go into the climbing and mountaineering forums and read posts from people who are climbing with Event instead of Gore-Tex, who have made the shift. And you'll see that actually they say they have to wear some extra insulation on a lot of those trips because the Event is that much more breathable. So I mean, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Like, it's either going to be more breathable on a hot day, or you're going to need a little bit of extra insulation on a cool day. So for us, for the kind of riding we do, it's usually pretty athletic. We're moving around a lot. We want as much breathability as we can get without letting water in.
That sounds great. There's one last thing. This mannequin does not have the fancy belt on.
No,
but,
I do though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So they're not like big Velcro adjustable waists. It's just a pretty typical belt
we
loop.
all sat down and talked about how to do. Obviously, you have your waist sizes.
Yeah.
We sell the pants in waist sizes, but you know, there's always that last little bit of adjustment. You know, even in the course of a trip, sometimes you kind of like swell a little bit. Sometimes you straight back down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe you had a lot of rice yesterday. You're feeling a little bloated.
Exactly. You get a little bloated. That's the word I was looking for, bloated. Yeah. So you need that extra adjustability, but none of us like all those, like, you see it on a lot of sporting stuff. Like,
I hate them.
Those little tabs and weird little buckles and Velcro that rubs against your skin, or buckles that push into your hips.
Yeah, they're awful.
And we all realized that we just kind of prefer riding in a belt. So we went away from all that stuff. And these pants actually include, like you said, it's not shown here, but they include our autonomous belt. That's the name of it. It's a really nice, real leather, metal buckle.
Yeah, it's got a really cool looking buckle. Yeah,
it's a nice belt, and you'll probably want to wear it off the bike too. But it's sort of interesting to pair an extremely technical, waterproof, breathable garment with an old school leather belt.
Yeah.
But to us, it makes perfect sense. Hopefully other people will think that too.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So when can people get these?
So they're available on our website at the beginning of June, so really
right.
the end of this month.
Yeah.
Production is pretty much done. We're just receiving shipments now.
Sure.
And we're kind of waiting till everything's collected in our warehouse, and we've QC'd everything, got all checked in inventory, and I expect we'll start shipping in kind of the first week of June.
Cool. And then this is one of the colorways. The other is a gray,
a gray and blue.
with like a blue zipper,
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
All right,
And
cool.
MoskoMoto.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete.
MoskoMoto.com.
Yeah, so that people don't get that messed up.
Exactly.
Yeah, MoskoMoto.com.
Yep.
All right, thanks, man.
Right on. Thank you. Enjoy the show.